Welcome to How to Report a Work-Related Injury. During this training, you will learn the basics of injury reporting and how workers' compensation supports employee recovery. Here's a list of training objectives where you will learn what is a work-related injury, what is workers' compensation insurance, when to report the injury and who to report it to, what is the process if you're injured on the job, how to obtain medical treatment if needed, what to do after your doctor visit, what type of accommodations apply while you recover from your injury, workers' compensation leave pay and medical appointments, when you can return to regular duty, as well as human resources contacts. What is a work-related injury? It's an injury arising out of employment and in the course of employment. It's also known as AOE, COE in workers' compensation. It involves two components. The injury occurred because of employment and the injury occurred during the course of employment. What is workers' compensation insurance? All California employers, public or private, are required by law to secure workers' compensation insurance. It is to cover an employee in the event of a work-related injury. Some of the benefits include medical treatment from physicians, occupational therapists, specialists, and more. Possible temporary or permanent disability, which includes wage replacement if you are unable to work, as well as death benefits. When to report the injury and who to report it to. Injuries must be reported immediately or within 24 hours to the ROP supervisor or your school site supervisor if you work at a school, as well as ROP Human Resources. We provided their email and phone number for you, and we ask that you take down this information and have it accessible should you have any questions or need to report a work-related injury. Here are a few examples of why timely reporting is important. The ROP would like to identify root causes of accidents, improve safety awareness to reduce injuries at work, identify and eliminate hazards to prevent similar injuries from recurring, identify training needs to ensure ROP employees have the tools and resources available to them for a safe working environment. And it helps prevent any delays in you receiving benefits that you may be entitled to. What to do if you are injured on the job. First, you must report it to your school site supervisor. Your supervisor will then direct you to call company nurse. They are a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week nurse triage service, which determines the level of care for your injury. When you call, you'll be providing all the details of your incident. You'll be transferred to a nurse, and they will determine the level of care, whether it's an emergency room visit, a medical provider visit, or self-care. For supervisors, we ask that you please save this number and search code in your phone and have it available should an employee report an injury to you. Next, notify your ROP supervisor if it's different from your school site supervisor. And you want to notify human resources and work with them to complete the injury packet. There are several documents that require details of the incident. Some of those include employee statement, supervisor statement, DWC-1 claim form for workers' compensation claim filing, and a medical provider network notification. The DWC-1 form, employees section 1 through 9, should be completed and signed and turned in if you are filing a workers' compensation claim. The bottom section will be filled in by your employer, and a copy will be given to you and a copy provided to Keenan for work comp claim handling. The statute of limitations for filing a workers' compensation claim in California is 1 year from the date of your job-related injury or illness. How to obtain medical treatment if needed. Company nurse will direct you for treatment. The ROP has a medical provider network, which is a network of providers that handles occupational injuries. You may change providers at any time within this network. Concentra Occupational Medical Center is a provider of the ROP and has several locations surrounding Orange County area. You may select a site close to your work or your home for your convenience. Company nurse sends the following to the clinic: a medical authorization for your treatment, as well as a temporary prescription card. Should the physician provide you a prescription, you may obtain it without any out-of-pocket expenses. What to do after your doctor visit? Provide the work status report to your supervisor and human resources. You must communicate to human resources before reporting back to your work site. During the interactive process, human resources will communicate what type of work you can perform and for how long within any physical limitations provided by your doctor. Work status reports will be given to you after every doctor visit. Full duty means you are able to return to work immediately. If the doctor provides work restrictions, those will be reviewed by human resources for accommodation, and accommodations will be provided on a case-by-case basis prior to you returning to your work for your safety and the safety of others. What to do after your doctor visit continued? If your doctor has referred you for additional care, this requires a referral for authorization and it must be approved. Most of them can be approved by your claims examiner. Examples of this will be physical therapy, acupuncture, or chiropractor visits, diagnostic studies such as X-rays or MRIs, or a referral to another physician such as a specialist. If this approval must come from utilization review, it can take up to 5 business days for a decision. The decision will be sent in writing for approval or denial of treatment. If denied, you or your doctor may obtain an independent medical review. IMR will request the last 6 months of medical records to determine if treatment is warranted. What type of work can you perform while recovering? If you have work restrictions which limits the ability to perform essential functions of your job, ROP will evaluate what type of accommodation is reasonable within your work restrictions. The interactive meeting could apply to determine the type of accommodation. Accommodations are on a case-by-case basis and can include a leave of absence or modified or alternative duty assignments. Examples of those would be temporary change in department, work site, work shift, or any job duties. Workers' compensation leave pay and medical appointments. For leave pay, a leave of absence due to your injury will be paid to you by the ROP. If your workers' compensation claim is accepted, a combination of temporary disability benefits, or 66 2/3 of your wages, and EDCO benefits, which is the other 33%, will be paid to you to receive full wages. If your workers' compensation claim is delayed, temporary disability benefits will not be paid. Instead, you will be paid sick time until a decision to accept or deny your claim has been made. However, you may still continue to get medical treatment during the delay process. If your claim decision is accepted, your sick time will be returned to you and industrial accident leave will be paid from the first day of absence. If your workers' compensation claim is denied, disability benefits will not be paid and medical treatment will end. For medical appointments, all doctor visits should be made outside of working hours whenever possible. If you need to leave work to attend a doctor visit, industrial accident leave will be paid to you, and 1 day will be deducted from the allotted 60 days from industrial accident leave time. When can you return to regular duty? Once your doctor has returned you to full duty, which means no longer having work restrictions. First, you want to provide the work status report to human resources and your supervisor. Then you may resume your regular job duties immediately. If you have additional medical appointments, Please follow through with all treatment until determined to be medically recovered. Medically recover will include either a permanent and stationary status, also known as PNS, or maximum medically improved status, also known as MMI. Here's a list of human resources contacts. When emailing human resource personnel, please copy this email address to ensure that the HR team members respond to your request timely. Michelle Prue is your human resource analyst, and Tanya Watkins is the Director of Human Resources.